But no sacking, no suspension by DMK.
This is happening everywhere. This is happening everywhere.
DMK's only reaction, it happens.
This is happening everywhere. This is happening everywhere. Yesterday in Uttar Pradesh there was a clash and a mother and daughter died. So everywhere it's happening. These are all small things.
BJP demands answers from CM Stalin. Are soldier killings normal, Mr. Stalin? Why isn't the DMK councillor sacked yet? Our top focus on 6 p.m. Prime.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us here on 6 p.m. Prime. I'm Akshita and Nandgopal. Here on India Today, we're fighting and speaking for justice for young Prabhu, a 33-year-old serving soldier who was beaten to death by a DMK councillor. Since last evening's broadcast, we've had one big update, which is that Chinnasamy, the councillor in question here, has been arrested. But believe it or not, since then, there's not been a single DMK reaction. There's not been a single condemnation from the Stalin government or any help, any compensation, any assistance being given to the victim's family. And that's why we're going to continue demanding justice for Prabhu, for his kin. Here are the headlines first. Amid day 3 of IT department search at BBC offices, Vice President Dhankar alleges BBC attempt to run down India's growth calls it a doctored narrative. Rahul Gandhi replies to the privilege notice against him. Sources tell India Today that the Congress MP has submitted details of his allegations on the Adani affair. Tipu tussle continues as Siddaramaiah now hits out at BJP. He calls Karnataka Mantri a demon for his thrash Siddaramaiah remark. Ashwat Narayan, meanwhile, apologizes for his comment. Massive revelation in Kerala scam probe. Key accused, explosive WhatsApp chat accessed. Accused says Chief Minister asked him to get a job for Swapna Suresh. Another temple in Australia on Khalistani radar. Melbourne's Kali temple priest threatened to stop bhajans or face consequences. And cricketer Prithvi Shaw's car allegedly attacked by 8 people for refusing selfie. Accused claims Shaw's group attacked them first. On the night of 8th February, so 8 days ago, an army jawan was beaten to death by a DMK councillor Chinnasamy, his son, and about 8 to 9 of his aides. And all this over confrontation over where he was washing his clothes. The DMK Neta was initially on the run, but after massive pressure from India Today, he's now been taken into custody, arrested by the police. But despite these shocking revelations, beat this, the ruling DMK is yet to take any action against him. They haven't sacked him, they haven't suspended him. There's been no statement, no comment from the Stalin government, from the Chief Minister. The only reaction we have from the DMK is Mr. T.K. Zelangovan saying these things happen.
A shocking murder of a soldier by a DMK councillor at Tamil Nadu's Krishnagiri. The soldier, Prabhu, battered to death by the DMK Neta Chinnasamy and his henchman over washing clothes at a public water tap. While the DMK Neta was arrested along with other accused, the ruling DMK has decided to brazen it out, backing the killer Neta 8 days after the gruesome crime.
This is happening everywhere. This is happening everywhere. Yesterday in Uttar Pradesh there was a clash and a mother and daughter died. So everywhere it's happening. These are all small things. If DMK man is involved, we have already taken action against many men who were involved in criminal activities. The same will apply to anybody.
There has been no DMK outreach for the bereaved family. The slain soldier leaves behind his wife and two very young kids. While one of the children is 3 years old, the other is just 4 months old.
எங்க வீட்டுக்காரனே போயிட்டான். இதுக்கப்புறம் நான் என்ன சார் சொல்றது? என் 2 குழந்தை அப்பா எங்கன்னு நான் என்ன பதில் சொல்லுவேன்? அவங்களும் அப்படி இருக்கிறாங்க. திடீர்னு ஏதாவது ஆச்சுன்னா எங்க நிலைமை என்ன ஆகும்? இந்த குழந்தை அப்பா நான் என்ன பதில் சொல்லுவேன்? அப்பா அங்க இருக்காரு பாரு, நான் சொல்ல முடியுமா? அவருக்கு இந்த வயசுல அந்த ரோஜா பூ மாலை தேவையா?
भाई आया, एक ही बार उसको पीछे मारा था, वो उधर ही गिरने के बाद भी पूरे लोग मार रहे थे उसको। चाकू में यहाँ पे मारा, भाई को भी यहाँ पे मारा, पीछे मारा पूरा। उसने आज नहीं है, मर गया। इनको सजा चाहिए, उनको पूरे को सजा चाहिए।
Angry army personnel showed solidarity with the family.
हम तो पहले ही बोला है, नॉर्मली वो एफआईआर बनाया है। एफआईआर में जो अभी एक्ट डाला है उससे अभी तुरंत करने के लिए, गुंडास में अरेस्ट करने के लिए हम जबरदस्त किया है कि पुलिस डीजीपी से।
But the local police appeared too eager to pass off the brutal murder as a family dispute.
It was an assault case between close blood relatives over a petty dispute, and I repeat, it has absolutely no political angle.
The opposition BJP is on a war path, saying that such attacks on men in uniform is hushed up under the DMK rule.
Any uniformed man doesn't get any respect with the DMK party as a whole. So this is nothing new for the people of Tamil Nadu. They are very brazen, they are very open, they are very vicious.
Is this the Dravidian model that the DMK so passionately espouse? And what will it take for Chief Minister Stalin to break silence? With Pramod Madhav in Krishnagiri, Bureau Report, India Today.
Pramod Madhav joins us live right now from Krishnagiri. This is the district where this horrifying murder took place and where Prabhu's family currently is grieving the loss of their loved one. Pramod, since we last spoke, in the last many hours, has there been any attempt by the DMK government to help this family?
Akshita, for now, we've been staying since morning over here. We didn't see any kind of action from DMK government over any kind of support or anything so far. We are not sure if they are trying to contemplate something or probably announce something. But for now, we are at this location, and that Syntex tank over there, what you see over there, that is the place where this all ruckus started. These are the family members were trying to wash clothes over there, and this is where everything happened. And currently, we are having Prabhakar's wife Priya with us. Prabhakar is also seriously injured. In fact, he's not even able to talk, and this is the exact location where Prabhu was hit on the back of the head and he fell down here. Prabhakar narrated earlier, claiming that after that he fell unconscious, but still people were beating him. We have Priya with us. Priya, அன்னைக்கு என்னாச்சுன்னு கொஞ்சம் சொல்ல முடியுங்களா?
சார் இதே சின்டெக்ஸ் கிட்ட தான் சார் ஜஸ்ட் நார்மலாக சார் துணி துவைக்க போயிருந்தாங்க. இந்த சின்டெக்ஸ் பக்கம் அந்த இது மாதிரி இருக்கு பாருங்க சார், அங்கே தான் சார் அவங்க மருமகளும் துவைச்சிட்டு இருந்தாங்க. இவங்க போய் துவைக்கவும் இல்லை சார், தனியாக வெளியே தான் சார் வச்சிருந்திருக்காங்க. சரி கரெக்டாக துவைக்கலான்னு எடுத்து உள்ளே போடுற நேரத்தில் தான் சார் காலையில் பிரச்சனையாக இருக்குது. காலையில் இந்த ஜல்லி மேலே உட்காந்துட்டு தான் சார் அவங்க பேசியிருக்காங்க. மற்றபடி எதுவுமே இவங்க தப்பாக கூட பேசல சார். ஈவினிங் சண்டை வந்தப்பவும் எல்லாரையும் அவங்களாம் உள்ள அனுப்பிட்டு இருக்காங்க. நான் எங்கள் மாமனார் இங்கே, நான் இப்படியே தான் சார் நிற்கிறீங்க. இங்க இருந்தவரை தான் சார் சின்னசாமி அங்கிருந்து ஓடி வந்து இங்க அடிச்சு அந்த கல்லு மேல தள்ளி விட்டது சார்.
But Priya says that the altercation occurred that spot, and then later that evening the Prabhu was standing over there, and when they were talking, Chinnasamy came from that direction, and you could see a lot of stones and rubbles are here, and from here they pushed him down.
அப்புறம் சார் இவரை அடிச்சுட்டாங்களேன்னு சொல்லிட்டு நான் இவரை கூட்டிட்டு வந்துட்டே இருக்கேன் சார். எங்க நாத்தனா பையன் முத்துவ சார் இந்த ஜல்லி மேல போட்டு அடிச்சிட்டு இருந்தாங்க சார். சார் இவரை காப்பாத்தலன்னு தான் சார் எங்க பிரபு ஓடி வந்தது. இந்த ஜல்லி மேல இருந்து அந்த கீழே அந்த தர மாதிரி இருக்கு பாருங்க, அங்க கீழே கால் பிடிச்சி இப்படி தள்ளி விட்ட உடனே இப்படி கீழே குனிறார் சார். கரெக்டா இங்கே லாட்ல அடிச்சுட்டாங்க. லாட்ல அடிச்சோடனே மயக்கம் போட்டு விழுற வரை இங்க கட்டையால அடிச்சுட்டாங்க. கட்டையால அடிச்சோடனே ஒரு மோதிர மாதிரி இருக்கு சார், இங்க குத்திட்டாங்க. இங்க காயமே இருந்துச்சு, வெளிக்காயமே இங்க குத்தினாரு. குத்துனோடனே மயக்கம் போட்டு விழுந்த வரையும் நெஞ்சு மேலே ஒதுக்கிறாங்க சார், சாவுடா சாவுடான்னு.
What happened is that later when Prabhu tried to rescue them, he was dragged in that area from there to that slab over there, and he was hit with a rod on his back. He became unconscious. Even after that, they were hitting him with wooden weapons, and they were also hitting him, claiming that he should die over there. This is what Priya says. Adukapra hospital eduthu povachu.
அதுக்கப்புறம் இங்கே அவர் வந்துட்டா சார், அந்த மண்ணு மேலே தான் சார் எங்கள் வீட்டுக்காரர் சுற்றி ஒரு 10 பேர் சார். இஷ்டத்துக்கு அவங்களால எவ்வளோ அடிக்க முடியுமோ நெஞ்சு மேலே குத்துறது, கழுத்து அப்படியே இந்த கண்ணு மேலே போகிற வரைக்கும் கழுத்து மேலே கால் வச்சு அந்த மண்ணு மேலே தான் சார் உதச்சிட்டு இருந்தாங்க. சரி, நான் எங்கள் வீட்டுக்காரர் பார்க்கலான்னு போகிறது ஒரு 7-8 பேர் இருப்பாங்க சார் எங்கள் வீட்டுக்காரர் அடித்தது.
So like nearly 8 people, like they surrounded Army Jawan Prabhakaran, and they were like putting him on the ground. They were beating him, and she says that at one point Prabhu's eyes went up, and even after that they did not stop.
அதுக்கப்புறம் சார் இங்க இருந்து நான் பார்த்துட்டேன் சார், எங்க மாமனார் இப்படி கீழே உட்கார வச்சுட்டு அவரை பார்த்தேன் சார். அவருக்கு ரத்தம் வந்து? ஆமா சார், ரத்தம் அப்படியே இந்த மூஞ்சி ஃபுல்லா ரத்தம். ஒரு சைடு எங்க மச்சினர் சார், இவரை வந்து 4-5 பேர் தூக்கிட்டாங்க சார். தூக்கிட்டு ஹாஸ்பிட்டலுக்கு போகலான்னு வண்டியில் உட்கார வச்சுட்டு இவரை வண்டியில் உட்கார வைக்கணும் சார். அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் எங்கள் வீட்டுக்கார பார்த்தேன் சார். அவர் பார்க்கலான்னு போகிற சார், ஒரு லேடி வந்து என் ட்ரெஸ் ஃபுல்லாக கிழிச்சுட்டாங்க சார். ஃபுல்லாக இது வரைக்கும் அப்படியே வந்துருச்சு சார். திடீர்னு நான் மேலே ஷால் கூட போடல சார். அப்படியே இந்த ட்ரெஸ்ஸை கையில் மடிச்சு வச்சுட்டு எங்கள் வீட்டுக்காரர்கிட்ட போனோம் சார். அவர் நான் ஒரு லேடி சார், அவங்க ஆம்பளைங்களை என்னால் என்ன சார் பண்ண முடியும். அப்புறம் 2-3 பேர் வந்து அவங்கள தடுத்துக்கிட்டாங்க சார். எங்கள் வீட்டுக்காருக்கு மூச்சே இல்லை சார். அப்புறம் அவரையும் கூட்டிகிட்டு நாங்கள் ஹாஸ்பிட்டல் போயிட்டோம் சார்.
Later, Prabhakar was over there and he was unconscious. When she tried to confront, she was also attacked. Later, some good Samaritan came over and both two were taken to the hospital. They were admitted over there, and unfortunately Prabhu had died. And currently this entire family is grieving and they are demanding justice and answers. Akshita.
All right, heartbreaking truly, Pramod, that this family has had to endure something like this and has gotten no help whatsoever from the government. Pramod, can you confirm that? Has there been any compensation, any assistance or any communication at least from the government to them?
Well, for now, we haven't received any kind of information about any kind of like compensation or any kind of support from the government. We are not exactly sure if they are contemplating. Probably another 30 minutes or so, there could be some announcement, but we are only speculating right now. We are expecting some kind of response from DMK government on this, Akshita.
All right, Pramod, thank you very much for joining us with that ground report. Heartbreaking, really, to hear the family members. For Prabhu, 33-year-old Prabhu, he's in fact left behind his wife and his 4-month-old baby, as well as his 3-year-old child. And they are heartbroken, to say the least, by what's happened. I want to get you now a conversation that I had earlier with the Tamil Nadu BJP chief K. Annamalai on this entire issue. And he says that the DMK, the problem is, according to him, that the DMK has no respect for the uniform. Annamalai, vanakkam. Thank you for joining us here on India Today. I think what's happened in our state right now has got everyone in shock and obviously everyone extremely angry. First of all, what do you make of the state's response, or some say the lack of it really, in this particular case?
Madam Vanakkam, firstly I hung my head in shame as a Tamilian, as an Indian, that a person who is serving our country, putting his life in the service of others, is bludgeoned to death. And it shows the impunity with which DMK is defending the particular councillor. Especially in Tamil Nadu, it is nothing new, because with respect to DMK's mindset, and the same party has spoken about Dravidistan, the same party has spoken about a separate state. So by their nature, their respect for men in uniform, the respect for army personnel was never there. And this incident has clearly shown the government itself is also brazenly defending in a way. The incident happened on February 8th. Now, after the yesterday's hue and cry, especially from the national media, which brought it to national attention, the local police were forced to arrest that councillor, which is after a good 6-7 days. Now the DMK spokesperson, one after the other, trying to defend their own councillor. This is what the whole India is seeing. But here, more importantly, madam, in this case, the whole village knows that they are serving in the Indian Army, has come on a holiday. It was a very trivial issue. And later the councillor, along with this group of people, he went in, attacked them with rods. He was admitted to a hospital. Even the treatment was not very, very properly given. Then later the army Jawan passed away. In this case, I find fault with the local police also, because now DMK as a party, we all know how they behave. Now we all know how the government behaves. For the local police, it is their men in uniform. It is like their brother. And they also did not take it very seriously. They were also very, very casual. Now I really hang my head in shame that I'm sitting in a national television in front of you, trying to talk about an issue that should never be spoken in the first place. Especially when I come to different parts of the country, I see the kind of respect a Jawan gets, the kind of respect society gives to him. But for Tamil Nadu, very unfortunately, over the long Dravidian politics, but somehow Jawans are seen as very alien. Somebody who's defending the country border is not seen one among us. That's a very sad state.
You know, that's a very strong statement that you made, Annamalai, saying that there's no sentiment to do with the uniform among the DMK. I want to bring your focus to how the DMK has reacted. We asked Mr. T.K. Elangovan about this particular incident, and his response was that these kind of things happen.
Yeah, using the word called shocker is playing it down because we keep seeing the kind of insensitivity they display. And the kind of brought up that many of the DMK senior leaders have, and kind of respect therefore the country as a whole, and especially for the men in uniform. They don't have that culture of appreciating somebody who's willing to lay down his life for the protection of our country. Some of it is never there because of 1949 culture, the way they spoke things in the parliament is just a manifestation. But here, I would like to bring your kind attention to an incident that happened about 4 months back. There was a CRPF Jawan who was in duty in CRPF somewhere near Bengal, Orissa. He put a Facebook post that India will always have one flag when Tamil Nadu leaders were talking about something else. That same night, one of the alliance party of DMK, Vidudalai Chirithai Kachi, some 100 people barged into his house. Then when it came to our attention at about 12 in the night, the local BJP leaders and cadres, about 200 people, went to his house to defend the Jawan's parents from the VCK cadre. You will not even believe, madam. Some Jawan putting up a Facebook post somewhere about a country having one flag. The retaliation from their alliance partner going to that. Unfortunately, in this case, not even a single person is arrested. After we did a protest, that person got suspended. So I can give you issues after issues like that. The soldiers don't feel safe in Tamil Nadu in a way. It has come down to this level. Now, in this case, an army Jawan in duty, the whole village knows. Everybody knows he's an army. Even the councillor should be knowing because that is his voting area. Even the councillor should be knowing he's an army. Still going out brazenly attacking. What kind of culture is this? What is the message we are giving out?
What's the mindset then, Annamalai? It's a larger question that I'm asking. Did the councillor think he would get away with murdering an army man? Did he think that, he can brazenly commit this kind of a killing in the army man's house, go into hiding, and this entire case, this entire killing would disappear?
A year back, one of the DMK MP in Kadalur, Mr. Ramesh, he murdered his own employee inside his cashew factory. He beat him to death in his hand. When BJP raised an issue, the MP was not arrested. He was allowed to go scot-free. After a month, he took an anticipatory bail, he came back. So this is the way DMK deals with this public representative. Anybody who is a public representative, whatever they do, DMK as a party, as a government, they go all the way to protect them. But this is very shameful. Protecting an MP for one whole month, the MP was absconding. Then this particular councillor for about 6-7 days absconding. In this case, it is much more grievous. Assaulting and killing an army personnel. Then after the national media picked it up, I really find fault with the local regional media also. Our media channels in Tamil Nadu also. This is an issue, not only a news issue. This is an issue that reflects the state as a whole. That reflects what kind of culture Tamil Nadu as a state we have. The whole of India is watching. I really find it very shameful.
I want to pick up that point that you mentioned.
The media as an institution has failed.
I want to mention that point that you've spoken about, Annamalai. What stood out for me last evening when we covered the story on India Today is the number of comments on my social media timeline that said Tamil media didn't pick up this issue at all. There wasn't a shred of coverage on the story.
Yeah, very unfortunate. I keep talking this in the public forum also. Many of the news channels in Tamil Nadu are controlled by DIPR, the local government arm, which gives their budget. Anybody is very critical of the government, immediately next month they don't get advertising budget. So unfortunately in Tamil Nadu, DMK not only owns channel, it is also trying to control other channels when they speak any news against the government. Very unfortunate, more like a gag order. I hope and pray that the media brothers and sisters sees this in a larger national perspective. They don't see it as some crime that happened somewhere where two people fought and one person died. This reflects the character of who we are as a state, as a nation. So very unfortunate. I hope and pray the DMK is in a back foot, the government is in a back foot. They're trying to do everything as we speak now Our ex-servicemen wing, our brothers and sisters retired from army, whoever is in Tamil Nadu BJP with their uniform, with their medals, with their caps, they're in front of different collectorates across Tamil Nadu giving a memorandum. There is a major protest happening in Krishnagiri. 3 days from now, I'll be sitting in a one-day fast and war memorial along with all the senior retired army personnel in Tamil Nadu. Because this is the only way. It's not doing politics or anything. Here we are trying to build an awareness from ground up. We need to build awareness also to talk to them about what is the larger thing that concerns our nation. But we don't have either option. As a political party, we have to educate also sometimes.
You know, very often the thinking is that these kind of stories will stay on in the news for a couple of days and then disappear. You've told us now that in 3 days from now, you're going to be sitting on a fast. Is it a larger message that you're intending to send across right now to the Stalin government, Annamalai, with this kind of a fast that you plan?
Ma'am, this issue we are not going to leave, madam. It's very simple. This is going to reflect who we are as Tamils, who we are as Tamil Nadu. The whole of India is watching us. And every single army soldier who's in the border, you should not feel bad that there is a colleague from Tamil Nadu who's serving with them in the high altitude or in a deep snow. He should not feel that his life will be under threat when he goes back to his state. So we are conveying a larger message that we are standing with every single army personnel. That is why we have called for a one-day fast. I'll be personally sitting from morning till evening in the war memorial, along with all the people from the civil society also, because a larger message has to go out, but we can't take things for granted anymore.
What do you think is the bare minimum that the government needs to do? This incident has happened. So far, the DMK is saying these things happen. But going beyond that, in response to this kind of horrifying murder of an army man, a man serving our nation, being beaten to death in this manner, how do you think the government should have reacted?
One, the legal course of action, whatever legally we have to take action, that has to go. That is one parallel side, madam. That is the law and order, the crime side. But the larger message, the CM has to come out and apologize. One, for being the president of DMK for the conduct of his party men. Second, to apologize to the Indian people and Tamil people for the way this issue was handled for the last 7-8 days. And immediate help for the army Jawan's family. And more importantly, giving a free hand to the police personnel so that this kind of incidents don't repeat. There was a CRPF Jawan incident 3-4 months back, middle of the night, his alliance members barging in to attack his father and mother because his son has put a Facebook post about country having a one national flag. I don't think in any other part of the country this can happen. Even then no FIR was filed. So CM has to come out and say that he stands with army, he stands with Jawans, he stands for what is right. CM cannot behave like a petty party member here. CM cannot display the party's ideology by saying, no, we don't respect for the Indian army because our concept in 1960-63 was for a different state. No. This is on a bare minimum. He has to come out, speak, seek apology, and make sure the wheels of justice is set in motion, madam.
Do you also believe that there's a larger issue here of a lack of law and order? You know, since the beginning of this chat, Annamalai, you've cited many instances of crimes that have taken place, particularly involving DMK members. And in almost all circumstances, the Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam hasn't spoken out, has chosen to completely ignore and maybe some cases push it under the carpet as well. Is there a law and order crisis right now in Tamil Nadu?
The DMK's mindset as a party is always, the moment they come to power, they take control of the police station. They're extremely good in doing that. Within a matter of months, they take control of a police station. All these things are outcome of the police not being fair or police having their hands tied because the local DMK chief of each district, he controls the transfer right up to a constable. So naturally, any crime that is done by a DMK personnel is a no-no for police. They don't even touch. That is why you see in the last 1 year, many issues India Today has picked it up. I'm talking of a shifting MP, DMK MP in Kadalur, killing his own employee, not arrested for 1 month. And he was allowed to go get a bail from court and come to pay. Right now he is appearing in public functions. Not even a charge sheet will be filed. The same case now. So now the mindset of DMK taking control of the police, thereby strangulating the democracy itself is a larger area of concern. Right now with the age of social media, national television, it is being very visible. If you look at DMK's last time, 96 to 2001 or 2006 to 11, when they were in power, with much more atrocious. They used police station only to settle land disputes, where DMK is one party, public is other party. So now the issue is being discussed because that social media and national media is making it very big. They are taking up 10 years back, this would not be an issue. It would be buried there. So the DMK's mindset itself has to change with respect to maintaining law and order when they come to power, and when they are in opposition, how do they speak about it?
You know, Annamalai, as India Today, we've been covering this story from yesterday, and we've been ensuring that we put out the voices of the family members. It's heartbreaking, really, because my colleague Pramod is there. He's been speaking to the wife of Prabhu. She has a 4-month-old baby in her hands. She has a 3-year-old baby also with her. And there's been nothing done so far for the family. Annamalai, what's your message as the Tamil Nadu BJP president to the family of young Prabhu right now? Because they haven't received any assistance from the government.
Oh, we are taking care of that family member. As we speak now, our senior leaders are rushing towards their home. They'll be there any time. And we will be taking care of them monetarily. Whatever support is needed, BJP Tamil Nadu will be giving. That is, without a doubt, we will take care of them. Right up to the kids' education, everything will take care. But having said it, we have to fix up the larger issues. Family need not worry, madam. But whatever we tell them, we can't bring Prabhu back. We can't bring that army Jawan back. That is the larger issue at play here. But I'll be also visiting them once after the war memorial is over. We'll be visiting. We'll be standing with them, not now. Even 2 years from now, 3 years from now, whenever they want us. But the larger message as a society, how we have to function, as Tamils, how we have to talk about this kind of issues when it happens to our state, especially as a government, as a law and order machinery, how they should react when an army Jawan is in trouble. That is what really bothers me at this moment, ma'am.
I agree, and I really, really hope that in the next few hours, Chief Minister MK Stalin speaks out on this issue, expresses his condolences, and most importantly, helps out the family, helps out Prabhu's wife in every way that the government can right now. Thanks very much, Annamalai, for joining us here on India Today. The Tamil Nadu BJP president confirming that he is going to be starting a fast in 3 days from now in Chennai on this very issue to ensure justice for Prabhu, to send out a message also to our forces. So as I said, this is a story that we will continue to track, ensure that the DMK finally takes action against that killer councillor, and also that Prabhu's family gets help. I'm slipping into a short break here on 6 p.m. Prime. Coming up on the other side, an extremely important story that we must be talking about today. There have been heartbreaking images coming in of tigers dying, so much so that in 39 days since the start of 2023, 24 tigers have died.
तो जैसे सबसे तेज आपकी टैगलाइन है, तो इसी तरह से सबसे तेज हमारी सरकार की लाइफलाइन है.
Thank Mr. Puri.
I thank you for giving me the chance to address you.
Terrorism now a global issue.
The First Lady position is so unusual.
Never in my career did I ever see that love and affection in any other country than we saw in India in '79.
Pakistan has been responsible chronically for association with sponsorship of terrorist groups.
Janhvi Kapoor will reportedly make her Telugu debut in Junior NTR Stara NTR 30, which will be directed by Koratala Shiva. According to reports, the film is all set to go on the floor soon. Janhvi Kapoor will be next seen in Bawal opposite Varun Dhawan, which is touted to be an intense action drama. She also has sports drama titled Mr. and Mrs. Mahi in her kitty. Janhvi Kapoor was last seen in Millie, which was a remake of the Malayalam thriller Helen.
Welcome to Doom's Kitchen. Can I take your order, please?
Whereas Junior NTR's previous release RRR has emerged as a pan-India blockbuster. The film has grabbed many awards, including the Golden Globes, Critics' Choice, and has also been nominated for the Oscars in Best Original Song category. Besides NTR 30, he also has NTR 31 in his kitty.
How you holding on?
You know, I'm just wearing my dead boyfriend's shirt and texting his old number.
Rob wanted to make sure you got one of these.
I have a phone.
You have a personal phone. This is a work phone.
I miss you so much. There's an aching inside of me.
Do you have a question for me?
Yes, Miss Dion. Do you really believe in all these things you sing?
Trailer of the much-anticipated film Love Again is out, and it features our very own Desi girl Priyanka Chopra along with Sam Hugan and Celine Dion.
Know nothing about it.
What?
Love.
Priyanka's husband Nick Jonas also makes a hilarious cameo appearance.
Take it a little slower. Yeah.
They're never gonna hold me down.
The film will showcase the story of Meera Chopra, who is grieving the death of her fiancé by texting love notes to his old number, which now belongs to Rob, who is a journalist, and a romantic connection begins to form.
I'm gonna go see her. These are from a literal stranger. I just need to put a face to these texts.
Do I know you?
The more I get to know her, the better I like her.
Things like this don't just happen. Love is a plan for each and every one of us.
Love Again is the film adaptation of Sophie Kramer's 2009 novel SMS for Ditch, translating to Text for You, and will release in theatres on 12th May.
Sure. And I'm Mariah Carey.
Love comes to those who believe it, and this is really me.
Oh my gosh, hi.
Our beautiful big cats are dying. 24 tiger deaths in just 1 month. 9 tigers dead in Madhya Pradesh alone. Is our forest department equipped for felines? Decoding the statistics at 6:30 p.m.
We've been seeing a very worrisome, a very alarming statistic that we need to talk about. The country has lost 24 tigers in a span of just about 39 days. So from January to now, we've seen so many deaths. This is by far the highest tiger fatalities ever recorded in the last 3 years. Now, the maximum deaths have been recorded in Madhya Pradesh, where 9 tigers have died so far. Madhya Pradesh also is the state with the largest tiger population. Then you have Rajasthan with 6 deaths, Karnataka, Assam, Kerala. In all of these states, there have been deaths. Are they all linked? The answer is no. These are all different instances right now in which tigers have died. But there's a serious concern here that many conservationists are asking whether our forest department officials are doing enough to handle the task of caring for these big cats, of tracking them.
This is a heartbreaking picture, but don't look away, because this is the reality of how many tigers we've lost in a matter of just 1 month. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. In 38 days, we've lost 24 of these beautiful big cats. That's 24 deaths between January the 1st and February the 8th. And if you're wondering why, it's a mix of multiple factors: unscientific development, lack of care and habitat, and in some cases, natural causes as well. What's particularly worrying for experts and conservationists is that 9 of these deaths have been reported in Madhya Pradesh, the state with the maximum tiger population. In Ranthambore, Rajasthan, 4 tigers died in a matter of days, including a cub. and there are serious questions being asked of the forest department here. According to locals, the forest officials had no clue that a tigress had given birth to 3 cubs in a nearby field and so failed to monitor her movements. The cub died due to cold and hunger as the mother wasn't feeding the cubs. Tragically, the mother tigress's body was also found meters away from the cub. She died after a fight with another tiger.
बागिन का कल सब 4 बजे मिला था और ये जब मिलान किया गया रिपोर्ट से तो ये बागिन T114 सिद्ध हुई और उसके बाद में इसको बॉडी को रिकवर करके और यहाँ लाया गया और आज इसका पोस्टमार्टम SOP जो NTC की निर्धारित है उसके अनुसार करा।
Besides these tragic deaths, 2 tigers, a male and a female, have also died in the last 1 month in Ranthambore due to age-related illnesses. Savai Madhopur has been under scrutiny of late. Rapid urbanization in the area coupled with non-stop safari traffic has made it increasingly less secure for tigers in the region, particularly with their numbers going up. But there's clearly a need to address if the forest department is fully equipped to track tigers. Much like Ranthambore, in Karoli of Rajasthan, a tiger's carcass was found yesterday and authorities have no clue what happened or even which tiger this is. A tiger found dead inside a pipe, another found in a field. What's clear in all these incidents of tiger deaths is we need a serious rethink of our tiger conservation schemes. The numbers may be swelling, but the deaths are also tragically going up. Bureau Report, India Today.
And joining me this evening on 6 p.m. Prime is Dr. Anish Andheria, President of the Wildlife Conservation Trust. Dr. Anish, thank you for taking the time out and joining us here on India Today. Far few national channels, unfortunately, are talking about this, but it's extremely concerning that 24 tigers have died in a matter of 39 days or so. Now, while these are not really connected, Dr. Anish, there is a concern because in some of these cases, it's been because of poor tracking, because of the forest department being unaware. Some of these tiger carcasses have been found days later.
Yes, I think if you go by statistics, last year about 138 tigers died in the entire year. And if you go by the rate that we see now, which means 24 to 26 tigers dead in just 38 days, if you multiply it and if you kind of extrapolate it to the year, we could lose about 240 tigers, which is more than 100 tigers more than what we lost last time.
Shocking.
So definitely, as of now, if you look at just this first 38 days, it is a matter of concern. However, one must understand that India is one country, but the states are managing their forests and the tiger in their own different ways, which means that the Madhya Pradesh, the Maharashtra, and Karnataka, these 3 states are in my mind, and also Uttarakhand, these 4 states are the true tiger states where a lot of government programs are being dished out so that communities and tigers can coexist. There is good amount of protection inside the tiger reserves. The populations have gone up and soon, and obviously the tigers are spilling over. There are a lot of tigers along corridors as well in both Maharashtra and Madhya Pradesh.
Exactly.
And so there you can understand, if you're looking at Maharashtra, we as per the last year's figures, there are more than 350 to 360 tigers, of which more than 150 tigers are outside. And so they are within stone's throw of a human habitation. And so the risk to the tiger is extremely high. This is not a secret. Everybody knows that. And which means that the department has to be on its toes throughout the year. You cannot.
But that's my question, Dr. Anish. Are they prepared to do that? Look at what's happened, for example, in a Ranthambore. Because, you had a tiger cub dying there because the tigress had given birth in a field. So the forest department had no clue that she had even given birth to 3 cubs. It was the villagers who knew and then informed the forest department. And these kind of issues have cropped up in several parts of the country, in several wildlife reserves, where they're supposed to be, equipped to deal with this kind of an issue, particularly to track tigers.
So tigers are very difficult to track. One must remember that they are elusive creatures. They are not like lions. They live a solitary life and they are very elusive. So everybody knows this, which means the forest department has to be prepared to monitor tigers on a weekly basis. And there are the entire tiger habitat is divided in beats, BEATS, and there is a forest guard per beat. So in those tiger-worthy habitats, the states have to put in systems in place where every guard should know how many tigers there are in the beat, and a beat size could vary from 6 to 7 square kilometers to sometimes 25 square kilometers. And it's not a small area for 1 or 2 people to man. And so there is going to be always challenges. So how going forward can India, see, there are problems. How do we solve these problems? The first and foremost is to make sure that the human wildlife conflict, which means the conflict between the dispersing tigers and people, is brought down. Most of this conflict is because tigers, when they go out of the tiger reserves, they feed on cattle largely because there is no wild prey or very little wild prey. Because of the anger of then the loss that a poor family goes through because of death of a cattle, they can easily poison the carcass, and a tiger will come back to the same carcass to feed, and an entire tiger family can be wiped out if the kill was made by the female, which means the compensation has to be given at the right time. People have to slowly be moved away from cattle herding because it's no longer a lucrative business. A lot of what cattle are giving them is just dung, not really milk products. So there has to be at the policy level phase out of cattle industry in most of the non-productive areas. I'm not talking about Gujarat and certain states where cattle is turning out a lot of income.
But Dr. Anish, there's one more point that I'd like to raise with you. When you're talking about human-animal conflict, what comes to mind is what's happening right now in Karnataka also, where 2 members of a family have also been killed by a tiger. Again, the result of the fact that you have villages so close to these reserves. The other issue is about the spread of these tigers. At no point are we trying to suggest that because of these deaths, there's a serious crisis with regards to the tiger population or their numbers. That's a healthy number right now in India, yes? Is it populated the right way? Are these numbers more concentrated in some parts than they should be? Is it spread out the right way?
Yes, that's a very, very important question. So there are 18 tiger states in India. Tigers are found in 18 different states. And India has about, as per the last numbers, it is close to 2,950 tigers. Yeah. And most of these tigers come from 6 to 7 states. Overwhelmingly high number of states, about 10 states, have substandard tiger populations. Some of the states have actually lost all their tigers. So many tiger reserves don't have tigers. So I can count them straight away. Buxa, Dampa, Namdafa, Palamu, Kaval. There are so many tiger reserves which are on paper tiger reserves but no tigers. Which means the tiger population in the country is an outcome of good governance in just handful of states. So if the tigers have to be protected and if we have to sustain this population, keeping in mind that the conflict will go up with time as the forest outside degrades, because the forest is degrading every year, the forest is being destroyed outside. Number of people living outside is high, the poverty levels are high, so the conflict is going to be high and people can easily predict that there are several models. So the government will have to come up with solutions. The populations have to be dispersed. If there are too many tigers in the corridors, and corridors are not places where tigers can start breeding, because there will be huge conflict. I'll just give you an example in Maharashtra. To the east of Tadoba, there are 604 villages, and within a kilometer of those villages, and this is a reserve forest, there are a lot of forest patches there. There are more than 50 adult tigers and nearly 30 cubs. So 80 tigers living within 1 kilometer.
In such a circumstance, a conflict is bound to happen. So clearly from what you're telling us, there is a need for a rethink, no matter what, from the government's perspective really, of how a population, the tiger population, is really handled right now. I've run out of time, but Dr. Anish, thank you very much for joining us with those insights. But clearly at this point, the heartbreaking news is that we have lost, in fact, so many of these tigers. We've lost 24 tigers for different reasons, of course, but all of it comes down to issues that we're facing right now with regards to their population, how they're being taken care of, and clearly our conservation policies as well. So on one hand, while we're talking about the conservation policy of tigers, on the other, we're seeing another renewed push to ensure more cheetahs are brought into India. Just months ago, we had Prime Minister Narendra Modi in September welcoming cheetahs to the Kuno National Park. Get set for more cheetahs, 12 of them this time being flown in from South Africa over this weekend. Let's get you all the details you need to know.
This was Prime Minister Modi releasing the first batch of 8 cheetahs in Madhya Pradesh's Kuno National Park. The wild cheetahs, which had become extinct from India, were brought from Namibia and reintroduced under Project Cheetah. It was the world's first intercontinental large wild carnivore translocation project. Now, a second group of 12 spotted cats is all set to arrive at the Kuno Reserve from South Africa.
माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के नेतृत्व में भारत ने जो एक वैश्विक दृष्टि से बड़ा प्रयास किया इकोलॉजिकल रॉन्ग को इकोलॉजिकल हार्मनी में बदलने के लिए 50 के दशक में जो चीते भारत से एक्सटिंक्ट हुए थे उनको एक लंबे समय में वापस से लाने का विषय था। माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के नेतृत्व में हम उसकी पहले चरण में नामीबिया से चीते लेकर के आए थे। उनका 1 महीने का जो क्वारंटाइन का टाइम था वो पूरा हुआ और क्वारंटाइन उनका सक्सेसफुल रहा। फिर उनको 1 किलोमीटर के बाड़े में छोड़ा गया जहां पर अपने वो नेचुरल तरीके से रहने लगे और उसके बाद उन बाड़ों को भी आपस में खोला गया। तो एक तरीके से हमारा जो पहली खेप थी चीतों की वो व्यवस्थित तरीके से एस्टेब्लिश हुई है।
A C-17 transport aircraft of the Indian Air Force is bringing the 12 cheetahs, 7 male and 5 female, from South Africa to India, accompanied by vets and experts. They will arrive on 18th of Feb, first at Gwalior, from where 17 Indian Air Force's Chinook choppers will fly them to the Kuno National Park.
चीता कुनो में स्थापित है। प्रधानमंत्री जी ने इसका लोकार्पण किया था। आगामी 18 तारीख को अगला किश्त नामीबिया से 14 चीते और आ रहे हैं। उनको भी कुनो में रिहा किया जाएगा। मुझे विश्वास है कि जैसे पहला किश्त जो आया था पूर्ण सुरक्षित रूप से वहाँ स्थापित हो चुके हैं, ये दूसरा किश्त भी करीब 3-4 महीने में पूर्ण रूप से वहाँ स्थापित हो जाएगा।
Special quarantine blocks for the second batch of cheetahs are ready at the Madhya Pradesh Reserve. The 12 spotted cats will stay in quarantine for a month. South Africa will send 100 cheetahs in a decade's time to India according to a recently concluded pact.
पास्ट एक्सपीरियंस के बाद हमने जो क्वारंटाइन बोमाज है इसको काफ़ी इम्प्रोवाइज किया है, तो उसके मैनेजमेंट में उसमें हमें काफ़ी सहूलियत मिलेगी। जैसे इसमें फीडिंग का एक अलग चैम्बर बनाया हुआ है और जो कि पहले वाले क्वारंटाइन बोमा में नहीं था, उसको डॉक्टर्स नज़दीक से देख सकें उसकी पूरी व्यवस्था की हुई है। मॉनिटरिंग की भी इसमें 24/7 व्यवस्था है। मचान बने हुए हैं जहाँ पे हमारे जो बायोलॉजिस्ट हैं, रिसर्चर्स हैं, वो 24 घंटे बैठ के इसकी बायनोकुलर के माध्यम से इसकी मॉनिटरिंग कर सकते हैं।
The first batch of 8 cheetahs are out in hunting enclosures at the Kuno Park. They will be released into the wild soon. Here's hoping that their rehabilitation is a roaring success. Bureau Report, India Today.
So as was always the plan, 12 more cheetahs being brought in, thereby to ensure that the number of cheetahs we have in the country continuously goes up. But why is it that all of the cheetahs are being sent to one location, the Kuno National Park in Madhya Pradesh? Well, it's because of a number of factors, and this is because experts were also brought in to weigh in the pros and cons. Kuno National Park was chosen because there's a large amount of space for these cheetahs to run around. It's free of human any sort of human habitation anywhere close by, no villages that have come up in the surrounding areas at least. There's an adequate prey base as a result of that. This is a requisite for the cheetah, which travels large distances. Now, it also offers a forest grassland mosaic. The terrain is extremely crucial for a cheetah to kind of thrive, and that is ideal really for the cheetah population, what Kuno National Park currently has. It also has major tree species. In fact, some of them that we've listed right now for you, all of this is home to the Kuno National Park. Again, something that's seen as advantageous. And finally, favorable climatic conditions as well. It was seen which part of the country has climate that's similar to what's in South Africa, and that is something that has also been a factor in deciding that Kuno National Park will be the place where these 12 cheetahs are also introduced into India. Let's switch over to another video. This one has been going viral on social media. As I wrap up this edition of 6 p.m. Prime, take a look at this. You've got this group of lions roaming on the streets in Gujarat. There are 7 of them in all of them walking around on the street extremely casually. It's a 45-second clip. 8 of them walking down the road at night. This is what everyone's been calling a pride walk. We're leaving you with this footage. Obviously, it raises a lot of questions about animal-human conflict, but this video has also gone viral for how casually the lions are taking a stroll.
Stone pelting, houses attacked, and vehicles vandalized. Communal clashes erupted in Jharkhand's Palamu over Mahashivratri preparations. Violence took place after a group allegedly vandalized Toran Gate, a traditional decorative hanging built for the Shivratri festival.
सन्नाटा पसरा है पूरे इलाके में, सिर्फ और सिर्फ सुरक्षा कर्मी आपको दिखेंगे, लेकिन इस बात का प्रमाण भी दिखेगा कि उस वक्त किस तरह से ये पूरा इलाका जो है अशांति में तब्दील हो गया था। यहाँ देखिए ग्लासेस, विंडो पैन जो है उसको स्मैश कर दिया गया है, वो टूटे हुए हैं। इस गाड़ी का वही हाल है, इधर आप देखें इस गाड़ी का भी वही हाल है।
The argument between the two communities escalated into a scuffle, and soon both indulged in stone pelting, prompting intervention by police.
बड़ी मुश्किल से स्थिति को नियंत्रण में किया गया, जिसमें हमारे लेस्लीगंज एसडीपीओ, अफसर इंचार्ज,